When looking for the king of podcasts, you're at the wrong channel.
Well, excuse me!
Looking for good ideas for life? You're far from good hands.
Hey, bud, what's your problem?
If you think the listener is always right, you're far from the right place.
Out of order! Even in the future, nothing works!
Hosted by a Northeasterner by birth, but a rebel by choice.
Are you threatening me?
If you want a host that floats between love and madness,
and we know the night is always gonna be here anyway. Thinking of you's working up my appetite, looking forward to a little afternoon delight.
then play on and listen to Crazy Train Radio.
All right, guys, listen to this blues riff and B. Watch me for the changes and try and keep up, okay?
Warning, creators of this game do understand the subject matter may be offensive to some, but they do honor the families and people that have been affected by these real-life tragedies that these individuals have caused. Want to play a game?
Oh, yeah!
Lover of true crime?
Yes, yes, yes.
Well, we got an interesting game for you to check out.
Wow.
With the mashup of influences such as horror movies, collecting cards, and RPGs.
What?
Led to giving birth to an incredible creation of this game, Killers, the card game.
You are all my children now.
This game is a collectible trading card game featuring some of the most infamous killers, with tidbits of trivia on the back of each card to help you learn some insight to each criminal.
Who the hell are you?
Let's not forget, during the game, cops will be chasing you and these criminals.
I'm a cop, you idiot!
However, check out their website listed through all social media today, which can be found under Killers, the card game.
Am I on the internet?
I want to play a game.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Alvarado, and you are listening to Crazy Train Radio.
Hey folks, it's your least favorite host in the podcast world, Croc, Jonathan Steele. And boy, do we have a good one for you today. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this next guest is a returning guest, and she has a pretty cool campaign to help with her new project called Latley. We are also going to be previewing a new song that will be a part of the project. So let's go ahead and welcome back Miss Jennifer Alvarado.
Well, hello there!
So, Miss Jennifer Alvarado, it's good to see you again. How you been?
Good. I hope you've been well and keeping busy.
Yeah, that's good. Well, speaking of keeping busy, you are working on a little crowdfunding project for your next album and Latley.
I am.
And so I do want to say, and I'll have a link to it, but she has been garnering impressive momentum. And as of when I looked this morning, she was at just over 57% raised with 16 days left. So congratulations on that. Seems like you're going to hit the goal.
I hope so. I hope so. I mean, I definitely want to. But honestly, I'm grateful for as much as we've gotten thus far. It's a huge help. And yeah, I mean, I hope so. I hope we get to the 9,000. We have another match day tomorrow. So what that means is if somebody gives $5, it's like they gave 10. And so we have another match day tomorrow. I think you have to give between 10 and 6 tomorrow for that to work, 10 and 6 p.m. Eastern. But yeah, it's been good thus far. And just gotten a lot of encouragement along the way from people. I mean, not even, yes, the financial stuff is great, but I think even just I've had a street team kind of helping me with reposting things and just being there to kind of talk me off the ledge when I get a little antsy about stuff. And that's been great. Just the support I've had through that. So yeah, very grateful for everybody who has donated or sent me a message, just giving encouragement or resharing a post, all of that. It's been great.
Absolutely. So what I'm going to do here is include Jesus in a Bar as a little sneak peek for the new work. I'm going to do that right here.
Okay.
I saw Jesus in a bar last night. It might sound crazy, but I know I'm right. In a haze of smoke from cigarettes coming in from the outside, I saw Jesus in a bar last night. I saw Jesus in a bar last night. I had come to drink away all the lies, the voices in my head, my bitterness and foolish pride. I saw Jesus in a bar last night. I saw him in the stranger who didn't turn away. He cared enough to listen when I said I'm not okay. And in the old bartender who told me I should stay, he said I've been where you've been when he took my keys away. Oh, I finally found his amazing grace in the glow of the lights. Yeah, I saw Jesus in a bar last night. I saw Jesus in a bar last night. I stopped my running and the constant fight. I confessed my weakness and handed him my life. When I saw Jesus in a bar last night, I met him in the stranger who didn't look away. He cared enough to listen when I said I'm not okay. And in the old bartender who told me I should stay, he said I've been where you've been as he took my keys away. Oh, I finally found his amazing grace in the glow of neon lights. I saw Jesus in a bar. They didn't have to listen, they didn't have to stay. But for the first time in my life, they showed me his grace. I saw him in the stranger who didn't look away. He cared enough to listen when I said I'm not okay. And in the old bartender
So coming out of that fresh new song of Jesus in a Bar to sneak peek the new work that Jennifer's doing, just to let everybody know, the funds being raised will go towards recording 5 songs with a top-notch producer in
Boston.
Mike Davidson.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm curious to know,
Mm-hmm.
what are some of the different levels of contribution people can do?
Yes. So the very first level is the avocado. So if you've known me for any amount of time, you know that my fan base, I've very lovingly called them the avocados because I've had friends in the past that have messed my name up and said Jennifer Avocado. And so it just kind of stuck and we went with that. So very first level is the $10 level. Of course, you can give a custom amount of $1 if you wanted to, but the $10 level is the avocado. That means that you get a digital copy of the album. You also get a thank you card from me. And then it goes on up. It goes on up all the way to $1,000 for a holy guacamole, which would be basically you get a day in the studio with us as we're recording. You get to come in, whether it be on Zoom or in person, and be in the studio with us as we record the other 4 songs that we've got left to work on. You also get a t-shirt with that. You get invited to a private live stream show, a whole list of things. So yes, you get the digital copy of the album, but you also get a lot of other perks with that. So each level has been curated around the avocado theme, but it just kind of builds on the next level as you go up.
So the other thing I thought was cool is anything over the campaign goal is going to Celebrate Recovery. So what do they do and what's that all about?
Yeah, so Celebrate Recovery is a ministry that I have been involved in for well over 10 years. I was actually worship leader with them for about 10 years and then had to kind of take a break from it because live shows, of course, Fridays are a very big day for going and doing music. So I had to take a break from that. And I still go back every once in a while and help out there. But basically, Celebrate Recovery is like it's a 12-step program like NAAA. But the difference is Celebrate Recovery is for everyday struggles. It's for anybody with a hurt habit hang up. So all of us, but it's based around biblical principles. And so the higher power is God for Celebrate Recovery. But one thing that I learned with Celebrate Recovery, every other week you have somebody stand up and give a testimony of basically where God has brought them out of addiction or divorce or depression or whatever the case is, and how basically the program and just being part of a recovery program and an accountability group has kept them on track and where they are now and how they've been able to get past those hurts and struggles and whatever else. And so it just really, it showed me the importance of somebody's testimony and how those things that we think we should be ashamed about, or we should kind of put in the dark, if you will, those secrets and all those things. If we actually tell our story and we bring those out into the light, that's where the light can then come into those dark places, and it no longer has the power over us to keep us hidden and keep us from using our stories to help somebody else. And I think that that's a huge thing, is this world kind of tells us like, well, you should be ashamed of this, or you should, not talk about this, or whatever the case may be. And one of those is mental health. And so this project in particular talks about my own struggles with depression. I had an eating disorder in middle school and high school, and really struggled with body image and all of that, and was afraid to even pursue music because of that. I thought, I don't look like this, and therefore I can't do this. And struggled with that for a long time and still struggle with that. And I think that that's just important to talk about, because it puts those insecurities and fears out there to not only relate to somebody else, but to also get past them yourself. And the thing that I've realized is that the things we think are flaws and the things that we think are bad, if you will, that's how God uses us. That's how God can speak into somebody else's life with those things. It's how we relate to one another. And so just really getting past the whole idea of being ashamed of your struggles, and instead sharing them so that somebody else can find hope.
And I'm not the most religious guy, but I appreciate that what you're doing with that and what they do, because you said it there without saying it. And I look at it this way: we all put our pants on the same way. We all have the same thing and same at the end of the day.
Yes.
So it's good that people's stories are out there with them, and that if somebody's story can help somebody else, even just a one person, end of the day, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah, end of the day, it's a good thing to, whoever's story can help one person, that's great. But speaking of your story, and I didn't realize that with you, and maybe we talked about it the first time and whatnot. I don't remember right now with the fog over my head.
It's
But
okay.
with your particular story you hinted at there, how are you doing today?
I think so. With the anxiety, I am an anxious person. I go to counseling. I have been in counseling. I'm not currently in counseling, but I have been in counseling before for that. It's something that I have learned to deal with, and I have learned the ways in order to deal with it. But I also have myself surrounded with a good group of people and I think that's so important. You've got to have a support system. And whether you find that in something like AA or NA or Celebrate Recovery, but to be with like-minded people that are going to raise you up and not, one thing that you learn when you go into Celebrate Recovery or one of these other programs is that you have to change people, places, things. So if you're in a dark place and you're engaging in activities with this group of people, you might have to change that. Like you might have to completely change even your address. And not always be away from them per se, but maybe like, especially if it's a toxic situation, you've got to get yourself out of that. And so I think that has helped tremendously, knowing who will support me and who I do have to call on. I think the anxiety part of it is I've learned that it's not about me. Especially with music, I had a lot of performance anxiety issues. And it was because I put so much pressure on myself to be perfect. And one of the things I struggle with is codependency. And that's, wanting to people please and wanting to be what everybody wants me to be. And the fact is, you're going to disappoint somebody. Like you just are. But you don't need to
life there.
But you don't need to disappoint yourself in the process. And I think when I realized that I was treating music and my love of music and my passions for songwriting and my gift for songwriting and voice and all that kind of stuff, I was treating it like, a curse because of how I was going about things. And so I think you learn day to day what you need to do to stay on the right track. And you're going to have days that are easier than others. You're going to have days where you wake up and you just don't feel like looking at it in a positive light. But you keep going on and that's what you got to do. You got to keep moving on. And I think one thing that I've learned is that by giving back and trying to help somebody else, you inherently help yourself as well. And it does. It gives you something else to focus on besides your own struggles and your own stuff.
And, it's funny in a way. And when I think about it, and I've had my own stuff in BS and whatnot. We all have that. But it's funny that I was a talking to a friend of the family who ended up becoming my personal physician for years until he retired.
Yeah.
And he was talking to me about mental health stuff and all. And I always found this interesting to share because it made total sense. And that being that he goes, think about it this way. Because I ended up where I ran into him. Hey, Carl, let me get you a cup of coffee. And, because he's a good dude, like to. So he said to me, think about it this way when it comes to mental health and stuff. He goes, if me or Jennifer, in this case, had a heart attack or you broke your leg or whatever the case, something physical, there's kind of a game plan to address it depending on the severity of the physical ailment. But with mental health, he was saying, we know so little about mental health, and it's not, and it don't follow the same game plan.
Right.
You and me could have the same diagnosis or whatever it is, mental health wise, but the same medication might not work for you that would work for me, or vice versa.
Exactly.
So, but I'm glad you're supporting a group like that can try to help. So,
yeah, I think for me, so my husband's actually a counselor, and I'm a strong supporter with mental health and just with that whole thing, because I think that, like you said, there's a lot that's not understood. We've made great strides, but I think that there's also a lot of shame still and kind of taboo that goes around that subject, and people don't talk about it. Like, we've gotten better at talking about it and being open and honest about stuff like that, especially I think after the pandemic. It has been there's been such a rise in mental health and people, needing to address things and stuff like that. That for so long, I think we were able to kind of push under the rug because we were just go and make that dollar and whatever else. And then when the pandemic had us all slow down and we kind of got stuck at home with our own thoughts, a lot of stuff reared its head. And so I think that there is more of a willingness now to discuss topics of mental health and issues with mental health, especially, just like the homeless community and, those experiencing homelessness. So many get into drugs and they get into situations because they have mental health issues that were never addressed. You still got me?
Yeah. Did you hear that buzzing?
No. I mean, honestly, the mental health support in this country, while it's getting better, is still not great. There's a lot that isn't supported. There's a lot that people that need help don't get the help that they need. And so, yeah, there's definitely been a rise since the pandemic and all of that. So I think that as many eyes and ears as we can get on that subject and realize that it's okay to talk about and make it, I guess, mainstream in a sense, just like if somebody broke their leg, and nobody would shame somebody for breaking their leg and needing to go to the doctor and get it fixed. So why do we do that with somebody who's wanting to get help with something going on mentally or emotionally?
Exactly. So lately, obviously 16 days with the campaign left. So what is the time framing game plan if we hit the goal and going up to Boston to record and all that fun stuff?
Right.
What are we looking at time wise?
So the campaign wraps up the second week of July. And so my hope is pre-production of the songs would probably be done within the next month or so, with me getting back up to Boston, hopefully in September, because just my schedule is a little bit nonsense during the summer months. So I'm hoping September to get back up there and get the vocals done on it, and then hopefully a final product and out October is my guess, would be my timeline.
There you go. So Jennifer, thank you so much, and check out her links of everything below on all versions of this.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Hey there, Friday fans. We know how much you enjoy the movies. Enjoy grabbing your Friday merchandise and interacting with the Friday family, whether it be at conventions or during our particular watch-alongs. Well, when you're looking to get yourself masks, why not check out our friends over at Camp Blood Customs out of New York State and order your specific custom mask from any of the films. All orders are made specifically. Your needs and wants are. Make sure you find Camp Blood Customs on Facebook, Instagram, and all over social media and order yours today.
This is Jennifer Alvarado from Diamonds and Whiskey, and you are listening to Crazy Train Radio.